This is definitely a historic opportunity for tribes. We've never had an investment of this level ever from the federal government. Despite lots of treaty promises and exchanges of property, we've never had this level of investment all at once.
An investment of more than $1 billion came to Oklahoma tribes from the federal government recently to help them recover from the impact of COVID-19. The tribes are on a tight deadline to spend CARES Act money as they work to curb the spread of the virus and help their citizens. In our continuing series, Native America, The Road to Recovery, reporter Tony Russell shows us how the money is being spent by one of Oklahoma's largest tribes.
This is more than just a groundbreaking for the Muscogee Creek Nation.
This pandemic, I did a state of emergency on March 13th, and we've just been living day to day since.
It's the first step toward providing its citizens access to affordable beef and a way for area ranchers to get their cattle processed.
One thing the pandemic has really done has forced consumers to look at the food chain and our food supply.
While all of us experienced a shortage of some food products at the start of the pandemic, the problem was even greater in rural Oklahoma.
These are very remote areas, very rural areas. It might be a thing where you only go to the grocery store once or twice a month. That's a big 45-minute or an hour drive to Eufaula or to Tulsa or Henrietta or somewhere like that. And you may only get to do those supply runs once or twice a month or once a week, maximum. And so really it's about finding access points. How can we get food closer to those communities?
That's why the Muscogee Creek Nation devoted some of its $312 million in CARES Act money to literally beef up its food distribution network.
At the very, very core of food sovereignty and food security is making sure that our people have access to safe, nutritious, and relatively cheap or available food supply.
Once built, this meat processing facility in Beggs will churn out USDA-inspected beef and game to help provide easy access to meat for those living within the Muscogee Creek Nation and beyond. But this isn't the only way the Muscogee Creek Nation is spending its CARES Act funds. A third of the money is going directly to tribal members who need assistance.
And over the last couple of weeks, we have been able to make direct financial cash payments, both through our income support program, our hardship support program, and our virtual learning support program to over 15,000 citizens.
Tara Branson Thomas is responsible for making sure the CARES Act money is spent correctly and quickly.
We constantly report to leadership about where that money is going, how we're spending it, how we're doing, and they're constantly checking in with us. So I know that there's a lot of fears out there, but we are working our best and we are very aware of the deadlines that exist from the federal government in order to make sure that these things go out in a timely manner.
Tribal officials couldn't just cut a check to its citizens needing help. They had to decide the best way to spend the money, vote on it, and then get it distributed. The tribe says it's constantly checking with the U.S. Department of Treasury to make sure it is in compliance with the CARES Act funding guidelines so projects like the meat processing facility can move forward.
And I think sovereignty, food sovereignty, is probably the biggest and best form of sovereignty that a tribal nation can have. When you have the ability to feed and clothe your own people, then I think you take sovereignty to a whole new level.
This CARES Act has been able to assist a lot of stuff that you couldn't do with your regular funding. So it's been great.
So how did the federal government decide how much money federally recognized tribes around the country would receive CARES Act money? Research shows some tribes were overrepresented in the funding while others were underrepresented. The Shawnee tribe in Ottawa County received $100,000, while the absentee Shawnee tribe in southern Oklahoma is estimated to have received over $26 million. Next week, we travel to Miami to talk to the Shawnee tribe, one of the state's smallest, about why it's suing the federal government over CARES Act funding. In Okmulgee, covering Native America, Road to Recovery. I'm Tony Russell, 2 Works for You.
To see more stories in our Road to Recovery series, just log on to our website, kgrh.com. Enrolled members of a Native tribe in our area, we want to hear from you. Email us at nativeamericarecovery@kgrh.com to let us know how the CARES Act funding is working for you.